Forget everything you know about traditional love stories. From forbidden sparks to deep emotional bonds, the older woman, younger man romance has captivated audiences for decades. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 movies that prove age is just a number when the chemistry is this undeniable. We've curated a list that spans from the golden age of the 1950s all the way through to the modern-day cinematic masterpieces of the 2000s. If you're ready for the countdown, hit that like button and subscribe to Movie Recap Hub for more expert movie rankings. Let's dive in. We're launching our countdown at number 10 with The Idea of You. When 40-year-old Solène takes her daughter to Coachella, she never expected to fall for the world's biggest boy band heartthrob. Their secret romance is a glamorous dream until the toxic glare of fame and the paparazzi force them apart to protect her daughter's peace. You'll think it's over, but the ending delivers a heart-stopping twist. The story fast-forwards 5 years to show Hayes walking into Solène's art gallery. It turns out their breakup wasn't a tragedy. It was a 5-year promise they both actually kept to find their way back to each other. Securing the number 9 spot is Hello, My Name is Doris. Doris is an eccentric woman in her 60s who falls hard for her much younger hipster coworker, John. She goes to hilarious lengths to infiltrate his world, making the audience believe a quirky romance is actually blossoming. But here is the mind-blowing twist. Many of the steamiest, most romantic moments we see are actually just Doris's vivid daydreams. When she finally confesses her love, she's hit with the cold reality that John only ever saw her as a friend. The real shocker? This wasn't a romance about finding a man. It was a story about Doris finally finding the courage to let go of her past and reclaim her own life. Claiming the number 8 spot is the haunting May-December, when an actress arrives to study a couple whose controversial age-gap marriage once shocked the world. She thinks she's just doing research, but as she peels back the layers of their seemingly perfect life, the lines between reality and performance begin to blur. The mind-blowing twist? The actress doesn't just want to play the role. She begins to manipulate the family to mirror the very scandal she's investigating. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the person telling the story is even more dangerous than the story itself. Claiming the number 7 spot is the legendary Something's Gotta Give. Here, we see a successful playwright, Erica, swept off her feet by a charming young doctor, played by Keanu Reeves. He's everything a woman could want, attentive, much younger, and completely in love with her brilliance. You'd think this is her perfect happy ending after years of being alone. But the mind-blowing twist? In a total subversion of the genre, Erica realizes that being with the perfect younger man isn't enough to heal her past. She ultimately risks her heart one last time to give a second chance to the aging playboy who broke it in the first place. Stepping up at number 6 is the legendary Bull Durham. Every season, Annie Savoy picks one young baseball prospect to educate in life and love. This year, it's a wild, younger pitcher. You'd expect a typical older woman, younger man romance, but here's the twist. While she's training the boy, she realizes her true match is actually the seasoned veteran. Annie famously breaks her one-season-only rule, choosing a long-term partner over a temporary project. Breaking into the top 5 is the bold and beautiful Good Luck to You, Leo Grande. Nancy, a retired teacher, hires a charming young sex worker to finally check off the sexual bucket list she was too repressed to try during her marriage. It looks like a typical romance where the younger man saves the older woman, but here's the mind-blowing twist. The movie's biggest climax happens after he leaves. Nancy achieves her lifelong goal entirely on her own, proving her journey wasn't actually about finding a man, it was about finally reclaiming her own body and self-worth. Moving to number 4 is the stunning 1950s masterpiece, All That Heaven Allows. A wealthy, lonely widow shocks her high society neighbors and her own children when she falls for her rugged, much younger gardener. It's a classic battle between true love and the stifling expectations of 1950s suburbia. You'd think she would eventually give in to the pressure of her social circle, but here's the twist. After she breaks his heart to please her children, they buy her a television set to keep her company in her lonely old age. This soul-crushing realization that she traded a real man for a box of static leads to a final, desperate race to find him before a tragic accident takes him away forever. Taking the number 3 spot is the ultimate cult classic, Harold and Maude. Harold is a morbid 20-year-old obsessed with faking his own death, while Maude is a 79-year-old who lives every second to the fullest. They meet at a funeral and fall into a romance that defies every social norm. But here's the mind-blowing twist. On the night Harold proposes, Maude reveals she's intentionally taken a lethal dose of pills to end her life on her 80th birthday. It's a heartbreaking finale that forces Harold to finally stop chasing death and start actually living. Coming in at number 2 is the legendary The Graduate. A directionless young man is seduced by the sophisticated Mrs. Robinson, but things spiral when he falls for her daughter. You'll think the movie ends on a high note when they run away together, but look closer at that famous final shot on the bus. As the camera lingers, their smiles slowly fade into expressions of sheer panic. It's a haunting twist that proves escaping your past is easy, but facing the future is the real nightmare. Taking the crown at number 1 is the ultimate masterpiece of obsession, Sunset Boulevard. Joe is a struggling young screenwriter who stumbles into the crumbling mansion of Norma Desmond, a forgotten silent film star desperate for a comeback. He becomes her kept man, trapped in a gilded cage of her delusions and wealth. But here's the mind-blowing twist. The entire movie is actually narrated by Joe after he's already dead, floating in her pool. Norma's famous final close-up isn't her return to fame, it's her descent into complete madness as she mistakes the police cameras for a movie set. It's a chilling reminder that in Hollywood, some romances are literally to die for.